All right, we are back. Q&A number 2. It is 2021. It is the year of higher standards, and looking forward to helping anyone with their fitness goal. We're going to jump right into this, but of course we got to introduce the guests today. Right, we got Mr. First Place joining us again. Back. This man is back. And then, of course, we have the picture of when I turned pro, what I looked like on stage. And this is the only time it's going to be in a video because I'm actually getting this hung up at the gym that I trained at for my entire contest prep. On the wall, they have a wall full of pros. Everyone who's turned pro earns a spot or has you can put your picture on the wall with the rest of the pros, and it's just awesome that I have the opportunity to get it nice and signed and up there to see. And so whenever I train, I've been seeing other people on the wall, and now I'm a part of the team, and just a blessing, huge blessing. And so I'm looking forward to just passing on more nuggets. Again, my name is Chemix. You can call me Chem. I go by Chem Lifestyle, and I'm a certified personal trainer by National Academy of Sports Medicine. I'm certified in sports nutrition, and I'm certified in exercise nutrition by Precision Nutrition right here. And then I'm also a pro natural bodybuilder, and that's something I'm very proud of. And the reason why I do these Q&As is to basically I gathered all this information and invested dollars, money into it to put it into consumable information that can be applied and condensed down and then applied. Me gaining the education was only a small part of it, because it doesn't matter necessarily how much you know until it's put into practice. And this is why this freaking thing is so important to me and so significant to me, because I went up on stage with all the education. I did my entire program. I had everything structured through the education who I've learned through amazing people. And I took that information, packaged it over a consistent basis, went on stage in front of judges, professional head judges, and was deemed first place. That's our guy. That's why that's so important to me. It's just an accumulation of my education on how to transform a body and make a physique, and to basically create, what can the human body do. I have that information. And not only did I get first place, but I also received the Best Poser Award. And so the Best Poser Award, right? This is significant because I just beat everyone in my division. But this, I beat every competitor. I was the best on stage. I had the physique, but it's not enough to have the physique. I've lost just having the physique. I knew how to display it. And that's very, very important, that I could go up there and there's maybe 30, 40, 50 people, and only one of those. And so I'm just I'm at a loss for words of how significant this is and how much it means when it comes to putting into practice, because I do want people to display their physiques and be proud of their physiques on the beach, wherever they are, shirt off, whatever it is, and just, feel confident in the picture if they want to take something, And so all of this is just an accumulation of my education, and I'm excited to share it with you, and just keep asking questions. I want you to be confident out there. Let's get you going. So without any further ado, we got some questions to get into. I got it right here. Don't even trip. Let me just put the password. Okay. We're going to get you taken care of in 2021. Ah, yes. Okay. So here's what we got. We have... Okay, we're going to start off with... Okay. Break it down to me. Fully length. What is needed for a lean bulk? It's a Vibe 9. Gotcha. Okay, so I'm sure you meant what is needed for a lean bulk. So full length. Absolutely. We're at 80 subscribers right now. But, you know, in YouTube world, that's super small. But what I try to do is I try and picture if I was in a room full of 80 people and how I would want to deliver such a message. And so I just want you to know the mindset that I go into these questions with and how important they are to me to answer them, so that way someone can consume it and apply. So, to read the question again, break it down to me. Fully length, what is needed for a lean bulk? So a lean bulk, right? We hear this term bulk, and it's usually associated with just eating a ton of food or a ton of crap, right? That's dirty bulking. Now, a lean bulk is what ideally what it would be is you get bigger, but you still have like an aesthetic look. You still have tone or lines. You look good with size on. You're not out of shape and just big and sloppy. And so a lean bulk is in the direction of where we want to go. We want to do what we can to get that. Now, here's kind of how it's going to break down. So remember, we have our 3 macronutrients. We have our proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. In a lean bulk, your proteins and your carbohydrates will for sure be in the triple digits. For sure. Your fats, on the other hand, you want a lean bulk? Lean. Those are not going to exceed double digits. That's the high. They're going to stay in double digits. And what you'll find is if you've ever tracked your macros, it's a little difficult to keep your fats low. But if you're consciously doing it, you're going to be able to generate that. But you have to consciously be doing it. You can't try to actually track your fats. And yeah, it's not fun tracking. But once you kind of get it, then it's a skill. Remember, this is just a skill that you have to learn. So, lean bulk, for example, if you are, let's say, 200-pound male, and yeah, you're looking to get, or we'll say like maybe someone who would want to be a little bigger would probably be like 180 pounds. Okay, so number one, at a minimum, you're gonna get 180 grams of protein. So 1 gram of protein per pound you weigh, or per pound you want to weigh. So if you're 180 pounds and you say I want to be 210, 220, 230, if you say let's just use 210, then that's going to be your new level, your new cap. You want to get to 210 grams of protein because that's what you want to weigh. Now, yes, you can have over that, and that's going to go into a little bit more of the coaching side of how precise that is for a person, because there's other circumstances at play. But that's a general rule of thumb to start out with. That's going to be, you want to have 1 gram of protein per pound you want to weigh. So get that on lock. Next, you're absolutely going to have a vast majority of carbohydrates be complex carbohydrates. You are not going to be having a ton of refined carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates, again, what I learned in nutrition school, there's mainly 2 instances where we are going to need refined carbohydrates. 2 instances. Instance number 1 is if you are underweight and we're trying to put weight on, or somebody has, is anorexic and they need to put weight on. That's instance number 1. You're underweight. Instance number 2 is if you're competing, you're playing some kind of football game, soccer game, running a marathon, you're doing some kind of high demand activity. That will then require you to have refined or fast digesting carbohydrates. And that's why football players drink Gatorade. Now, let me break it down. What happens to your body depending on the circumstance? So, let's say I'm a college student, for example, right? Or a tech. Yeah, I work in the tech industry. All I do is type on the computer, right? And then I start having refined carbohydrates, and I start, refined carbohydrates is like white bread, white pasta. I know, tastes good, right? We'll get into that later. Candy, Gatorade, things like that. So if I'm having those things and there is not a demand for it, if I'm just sitting here downing pasta, eating white bread, what's going to happen is remember, it's refined, so it's already broken down. The nutrients is already stripped from it. So that removed the job that my body would normally do. So now that that job is removed, my body then says, "Oh snap! We just had new supplies come in. Hey boys, we need to strip that down before we can use it." And then the body's gonna say, "Oh no, wait, no, we don't. It's good to go now, today, right now, this second, nearly." And then be like, "Oh, okay, well let's put it to use." Oh, wait a second. There's not a demand for it? Okay. I'm not sure why we got this in here. This nutrients that's already stripped down. Well, we don't need it. There's not a demand. He's just sitting typing. Well, okay then. Let's store it. Let's store it for later. Let's store it for later. Let's store it. Let's store it. Because we didn't need it now. I'm not even sure why it came in. And that's what's going to happen with refined carbohydrates. So if you want to avoid gaining that fat, because it'll get transformed into fat, body fat. Body fat is just stored energy. Remember that. Our body doesn't know what makes us look good. It just makes a decision that it thinks is best at that exact point in time. So without there being a demand, like some kind of activity, because if there's an activity, then our body's going to send it out to fill up the glycogen store. So glycogen, think of that as like your gas tank. That allows you to keep doing continuous activity at a decent performance. And it'll just fill that. So it helps in activity. Only caveat, if you're not in activity, your body will store it for later. So you're going to have a very little amount of refined carbohydrates unless they are placed properly as explained. And an overwhelming, and I mean overwhelming majority of your carbohydrates will be complex carbohydrates. The big three, I'm always going to tell you. Brown rice. I know not everybody likes brown rice. Give it another shot. Oatmeal. Get some Flavor God seasoning. Put some cinnamon butter roll seasoning in there. Chocolate donut seasoning. Pumpkin pie, what's the other one? Gingerbread cookie. I have them all. Less half a gram of sugar in that, 0 calories. Make your food taste good. Oatmeal and sweet potatoes. Get in the air fryer. You can bake the sweet potatoes, have it a little softer. Chop them up. Make home fry style sweet potatoes. Make sweet potato French fries. Make your stuff fun. Enjoy it. Also, bread made out of brown rice flour. I showed in my last Q&A the bread that I eat. So freaking good. Smells amazing. I got all my clients on it. They are shocked at how good it tastes. Because I'm all about flavor. That is one of the biggest things. I'm about flavor. I'm not about going against the grain, because people are not going to last. I've had people that gone against the grain who dieted, lost some weight, and gained it back because they didn't make it a lifestyle. So that's not what this is about. We're gonna find foods we like and that we look forward to. If we master those things, I guarantee you'll be able to have longevity and maintain the physique that you want. Maintain it. It's not about getting it, it's about maintaining it. So for the complex carbohydrates, when you're lean bulking, that's going to be around in the 300 grams plus. Lean bulking, 300 grams plus. Protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight you want to weigh, or up to 1.5, 1.7. Let's say 1.5 for easy math. That's what I would recommend. And your fats are going to be not going to exceed the double digits. They have to stay in, exceed the double digits. They have to stay in the double digits. You cannot get them to triple digits. You're going to keep those fats low. You get the bare minimum of the right fats, monounsaturated or polyunsaturated fats. That's things like avocados, nuts, seeds, the right oils. And that's basically it for fats. Okay, we're not doing saturated fat, and we're definitely not doing trans fats, which is not naturally occurring in nature. Your body is completely human made, and that's why it's the worst one you can consume. Your body doesn't know what to even do with it. Completely man-made. And all trans fat does is it gives things longer shelf lives. So you ever seen something that can just sit on the shelf forever? Is that normal? Is that something that should be able to happen? No, that doesn't happen in life, in nature. Trans fats are completely man-made and extremely foreign to our body. We do not want those. So you want to eat, so even the good fats that do help us, we still want to keep those low. So I want you to focus on your protein. So one more time for the breakdown. Protein, 1 gram per pound you want to weigh. 1 gram, and if you're really dedicated, 1.5 grams. Carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates, and maybe one meal that can have fast digesting carbohydrates right before or during activity. And that's going to be around 300 grams plus. Lean bulking, 300 grams plus. And then fats, double digits. So I'm talking, 60 grams, max 70. Try and keep those as low as you can. If you still want to, just have that aesthetic look, trust me. Okay, trust him. Not actually. This man right here. He's got the answers. Okay, so that's it for lean bulking. Right? You can always ask me if you have any more questions or if I need to clarify or wasn't clear. My Instagram is chem_lifestyle, and I have it in the descriptions as well, the links. But I hope that gives some context. Okay, so next, right? Oh yeah, and then for the lean bulk as well. Remember, your body is like a real estate agent. So your body's going to basically put excess calories, because you're in a calorie surplus now. All that means is you're eating above your maintenance calories, which is your RMR, resting metabolic rate. So we all have X amount of calories that burn just to sit. If I just sat here, right? So my RMR is 1,887 calories. So if I just sat here and did nothing the whole day, or lay in bed and did nothing the entire day, I would burn 1,887 calories. Now, how does that happen, Kim? How are you burning calories? So calories, the little definition of calories is energy. So that's how much energy is required to keep me on. Heart beating, blood flowing, organs functioning. That is the energy requirement for my body. Now, if I have an abundance of calories, if I consume an amount of calories above that number, then I will start to gain weight. And if I consume then that's called a caloric surplus. And if I have an amount of calories underneath that number, that's called a caloric deficit. I will start to lose weight. Now, the caloric surplus is a double-edged sword with your lean bulking, right? Because remember, lean bulking, we don't want to gain weight. We don't get it, a little chunky. What we want to do is we want to have the right kinds of foods going in, but the way the body's a real estate agent is either store, right? Things in the liver. It goes to the liver. It goes to your muscle tissue, or it goes to your fat cells. If we want it to go to our muscle tissue, remember, you have to be creating that demand so your body can partition that properly. So if you're missing your weight training sessions and you're eating an abundance of food, you can't have one or the other. You need to get both pieces down. So make sure you're lifting maximum effort. You're hitting PRs. You're going as hard as you can. PRs sometimes. It doesn't have to be always, personal records. But it's great to be in that kind of, that ballpark. because now your body's forcing to adapt. And then it's going to put the excess nutrients that you're giving it to the use to yield the result that you want. So make sure you're getting your strength training in and you're going hard. You need to. Let's put some size on you, man. Okay. Got it out. Next. Oh. Let's see. Okay. Is working out an empty stomach / fasted cardio bad for blood sugar / insulin resistance? Okay. So, let me tell you right off the bat what is bad for insulin resistance. Number 1 is obesity, unfortunately. Obesity is bad for insulin resistance. And number 2 is an inactive lifestyle. That is really bad for insulin resistance. And number 3, good Lord. Number 3, which is bad for insulin resistance, is just had it on the top of my head. It's gonna come back. An overabundance of refined carbohydrates, not complex carbohydrates. Refined. An overabundance of refined carbohydrates is awful when it comes to insulin resistance, blood sugar. That is what's gonna cause the type 2 diabetes. So if we have an inactive lifestyle that begins to lead to obesity, combined with an abundance of refined carbohydrates, that is going to really blunt our insulin. So I really, really want you to, and remember, refined carbohydrates are the sweets, the candy, the sugar, pastries, unfortunately, different kinds of breads. Just think of sugary stuff. Unfortunately, just has a bad. Our body just doesn't have the best response, or the response that we would like. Okay, I'm not saying cut those out of your life. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you have an abundance of that, and we start gaining weight combined with an inactive lifestyle, that's gonna crush you. And so, as far as fasted cardio, you can do that all day. Fasted cardio, I did that. That's my preferred style of cardio for my entire contest prep. That's what I did for most when I had the opportunity to do fasted cardio. I even bought a whole freaking treadmill. That was it. That's an anecdotal example, but many pros and many bodybuilders do fasted cardio. Fasted cardio is fine. Now, what we don't want to do necessarily is fasted strength training, because you said working out and you also said cardio. So working out can mean strength training. Now, we don't want to do that, and that's mainly because we want to have fuel in the body during our sets. For strength training, eat first. For cardio, strict cardio, you can absolutely do that fasted, but I would not do strength training fasted. Okay? So that's what mainly affects blood sugar, insulin resistance. What I mentioned earlier with the inactive lifestyle and the abundance, the over amount of refined carbohydrates. That's that enemy right there. Fasted cardio, you're perfectly fine. Okay. All right, next. All right, so what are the principles of the K method? What a question. Let's go. Carol, let's go. Yes. So the principles of the K method, there's a couple things that are really, really important to me that you're going to hear me say a lot. Number 1, we're not going against the grain when it comes to all of this. We want to make fitness a lifestyle. it's not only about getting the result, but it's about maintaining the result. I want you to enjoy the process, and I want you to freaking have flavor in your food. People think healthy means bland. What? Healthy does not mean bland. We've all been to a high quality restaurant. You've all been to a nice restaurant that has good food. The chefs, they're just amazing. The ambiance, you cut into it. Oh, it's so tender. It's juicy. It's amazing. It's clean food. It's like healthy. You've all had that just dish bursting with flavor that wasn't crap, that wasn't fast food grade, that was nice restaurant grade food, that also happens to be great for the body. That's the only challenge. The only reason why we eat food that is bad for our body is because it tastes good. Freaking tastes good. Whatever it is that you like, the fried chicken and the freaking just mountains of mac and cheese and crispy fish or crispy deep fried shrimp, right? All this stuff just freaking tastes good. Desserts, whatever you like, the ice cream or whatever it is, right? Whatever that is for you. The only reason why we eat it is because it freaking tastes good. And so if we can just get the best of both worlds, and depending on where you live, you may have many options. Like in California, fortunately, we're very health conscious. There's a lot of healthy stores. There's a lot of healthy stores, restaurants, all kinds of places. If you look for it, it's right there because, we're by the beach. People want to look good on the beach. So there's a lot of alternative options if you look for it, and they're not hard to find. That and the food, many people that live in California will vouch, you can find great tasting healthy food, great tasting. So that's a big thing. If you can find food that's good on your taste buds and good for your body, boom. Go to a nice high-end restaurant or take a course on how to cook great foods, get into culinary a little bit, you'll be fine. We've all had it. You know what good food tastes like. That's also healthy. Healthy does not mean bland. We'll redefine that. Healthy is going to mean flavor soon. One of these days. Let's bring the flavor. So, and then I'd say the last thing that I constantly repeat to my clients, and something I really stand for, a principle, is having higher standards. That's one of the biggest things that represents the K method. It's having a higher standard, holding yourself to a higher standard. The way I got this was holding myself to a higher standard. The way I turned pro is holding myself to a higher standard consistently. It was saying, I have a goal, here's my deadline, I need to hit it. And I gotta make sure that I put the things in place because this is something I want. People, if they want a fitness goal, first you gotta be serious about it. And if you're someone who constantly lets yourself down, how do you expect to produce a grand goal out of yourself when you can't count on yourself? We're gonna change all that around because today you hold yourself to a higher standard. If you want to have something you haven't had before, you have to become someone that you never were before. I'm not trying to get into any corny stuff, but that's really what it is. And it comes down to your mindset and how you think and your perspective. How you see things happening, how you see reaching a goal, defines how you were going to get there. You need to be the kind of person that says, this is my standard. And by the way, I held myself to such a standard. If you followed me on social media, I put out this thing called Road to Pro on my Instagram story. And I still have a couple posts that are up, actual posts. But on my Instagram story, I was posting every other day, Road to Pro, Road to Pro. whether I'm lifting weights or I'm having my meals or my journey that I drove out to Long Beach to in between clients to get the treadmill, and it didn't fit in the freaking U-Haul, but we made it work. And I got the treadmill in the house. I'd wake up early in the morning, do my cardio, right? And working out twice a day, having 5 meals a day, not missing meals in the car, going to 7-Elevens to microwave the meals that I had already made, and just being one step ahead every single way, and then putting it out there to the world. Talking about higher standard. You want something, you got to be able to count on yourself. How are you going to get more without being able to confidently ask the person who can give it to you? No more victim stuff. I'm tired of this victim mentality that we live in. So many people have a victim mentality. And are people victims? Absolutely. It's the unfortunate world we live in. But the mentality is what gets me, because that's something you always have control over. You can't necessarily have control over if someone like smashed into my house. That's not something I have control over. But my mentality, oh my God, why are people always breaking into my house? No, my mentality is, I'm living in the wrong area. What do I need to do to get out of here? I'm not jeopardizing my peace of mind. If this is an area where people break into houses, oh no, we're putting a plan together to get up out of here. My well-being is that important. And so this mentality, and just remember, you are where you are because of your hard work or lack of hard work. Let's make that clear. So this victim mentality, drop that. I could have easily shut down business, easily, because of COVID, easily. I had built up my business and my entire clientele at a gym that I rented, never missed one, never late on rent, never missed one rent, never asked for an extension, nothing, none of that. I was on point every day, all the time that rent was due. But what happened? We had some person in power that just magically one day said, one size fits all approach, and closed the business. He never came in, shook my hand, and said, hey, gym owners, this is how you can stay open safely, right? And you have your own beliefs on that. I'm just telling you what it is. There was never, this is how you can stay open safely, or you have to shut down. No. It was just, okay, stuff's closed tomorrow. Wait, but I just built this business. I have clients that, are making progress. They're in the best health of their life. I don't care. Shut down your business. Close it down. Oh, okay, so what? Wait, but what am I supposed to do? Right, I could have had a victim mentality and just said, well, sorry, clients, we're finished. I can't, gym equipment's getting all bought up. Where we would, I had to turn in my key right now. I don't have a place to train you. Yeah, we were on a good road. We were on a good path. But unfortunately, K Method Fitness is, no more. What? Imagine if I just sat there and gave in and said, oh, something out of my control happened to me. And then that's how we spiral down. The only way that 2020 was the year I made the most progress. After I had a good amount, the first 20 days of March when stuff really, the first 20 days of when it really hit, I was in a dark place. I was watching the news every day like a fool, hoping for some good news, which that's not what they're going to give me. And once I got out of that And then I had a mentality shift. And I remember that I have people counting on me. Oh no. Victim mentality gone. Has to be gone. If I want to deliver a result that I told somebody that I'm going to give them, because I have the ability to deliver that. I can't be, as a leader, I can't be in a state of mind that is toxic to people who need me to be in a great state of mind. Oh no, not me. So people may not like, they may not comment, but they're always freaking watching. They're always watching. And there's people that look up to you that they don't verbally say it, but they have admiration for you. They think it. Or they have a certain respect for you. And you need to carry yourself that way. Get rid of this victim mentality crap. I mean that. Because that's the one thing you always have control over. Always have control over. How you react or how you respond to a situation. So I just want you to have and hold yourself to a higher standard. That's what K Method stands for. Hold yourself to a higher standard. And I promise you, things are going to turn out one day how you want them to turn out. That's going to wrap it up for this Q&A. Woo! Thanks for hanging out, guys. Links are in the description. That was a good Q&A. Please keep giving me more questions. The questions I ask are, you can ask me on Instagram. I'll put out polls every week, and I give out free merchandise to one boy and one girl who ask a question. So you want to win some K Method merch. I have some fun shirts, some funny shirts. And you also want to just have your question answered in this kind of depth. Follow me on Instagram at chem_lifestyle and ask a question. Shoot me a question. Let's get you going. Let's keep making progress. Subscribe. If you got any value, send a like my way. Tell anybody else who might have any questions to check out the channel, or just throw on the Q&A while you're in the car. And I'm really looking forward to just hearing about any progress that you do make. Leave any comments if anything helped or anything stuck out to you. Thanks for sticking around. Really appreciate any support. And until the next Q&A, huh? All right.